Hey everyone, today I'm going to be ranking all 12 Friday the 13th movies. I would just like to get into it right now, but before I start, I would just like to say that this is my list, it's my opinion, it really doesn't matter. So, if you're going to get all pissy pants cranky when I, spoiler alert, rate the original Friday the 13th as the second worst in the franchise, then you can just fuck off right now, okay? Let's get into it. At number 12, easily the worst movie in the franchise, is Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. This movie is too long. It is 100 minutes. It is boring as batshit. There is no good characters. There's almost no good kills. Like this movie is basically bloodless. This movie only has one scene of so bad it's good material, which is just this awfully edited scene, which I'll show you right now. And just it's just not a fun watch. It's just misery. Although I will say I did enjoy the boxing scene on the roof, and I like the scene when Jason looks at the camera when he sees the big billboard with the hockey mask. That's it. This movie is absolutely terrible. Number 11, as I already said, we have the original Friday the 13th, released in 1980. This movie is boring as shit. It has a really predictable structure. It's a rip-off of better movies that came before, especially in Halloween. It's an unsolvable whodunit with such a dumb reveal that the way this... I get, you don't want it to be overly, the twist ending to be predictable. The whole movie's predictable all the way up until this, but, if it's a whodunit, you want to sprinkle little hints in and stuff like that, but this movie's just hey, it's the mother of the unmet child that drowned 20 years before the events of this movie. What the fuck? It's so meandering at weird times. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on at parts. Towards the end of the third act, she's just making coffee for 2 minutes straight. But this movie does have some great kills, and Betsy Palmer is terrific. So I can give it a few passes for that. At number 10, we have Freddy Vs Jason. I'm barely going to talk about this one because I already talked about it in the Nightmare on Elm Street ranking. If you've seen that video, then you know I do not like this movie. It is painfully 2000s, bland characters, awful dialogue, and just straight up nauseating editing with all the choppy slow motion, and it was just terrible. Although I will say that the titular scenes with Freddy and Jason just beating the shit out of each other, that was pretty good, but other than that, shit. At number 9, we have Friday the 13th Part 3. This movie has a stupid 3D gimmick. It is a carbon copy of the first two movies. I watched this movie a couple of weeks ago, and I literally get half the kills mixed up with Part 2 and 1. It rips off the original ending almost frame for frame. It is just so forgettable in general, and it's just really nothing to write home about. Although it is good to see Jason get his hockey mask. It has one of the worst kills in the franchise, which is Rick. Awesome concept, but the way it's done is hilariously bad. I'll show you the video of it here. And it also has some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a horror movie from, I think her name was Chili. Oh god, the way she's oh my god, Shelly's dead! It was terrible.
Andy! Debbie! Shelly's dead! Oh my god! Oh my god!
At number 8, we have Friday the 13th Part 2, released a mere 10 months, I think. It was 10 months after Friday 1 came out. This movie is good because it's shorter than the first, it's less of a whodunit, it has a great final girl in Ginny, has some really memorable kills, especially the guy in the wheelchair that falls down the stairs. It has some good characters too, I like that guy in the wheelchair, I can't remember his name, but whatever, he was cool. And it has Paul! The beginning with the recap goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. The kills, aside from a couple of them, are mainly more underwhelming than the original too, which is a real shame. At number 7, we have Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. This one has an interesting character ability with Tina being a talented teenager. It has a cool explosion at the end because the house blows up and, you know, that's cool. This is the first Kane Hodder Jason, which is just great. I think he's probably the best Jason, even though he's in, like, you know, parts 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is really, really strange, but whatever. Jason looks cool in this, and I'm talking about the mask without his mask. I mean, he looks awesome in that scene towards the end. But this movie is basically bloodless. I know it's not the movie's fault because the MPAA was all really tight-ass about it, but I'm still holding it as a flaw against the movie. Dr. Cruz was just, like, unbearable to be around. I thought he was terrible. I really hated Melissa too, and I get it, they're meant to be bad characters, but at the same time, it makes watching it pretty damn painful. And overall, it's just not very memorable. At number 6 is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This movie is batshit crazy. It is stupid, but it is so nuts, and it is a lot of fun for that. There is some amazing gore in this movie. There's one guy that bloody dies. He looks like Frank in Hellraiser when he's getting resurrected, and it is nasty. And he's like, you know, puts his face on the ground and he lifts his face back up and his jaw rips off, and oh my god, it is gritty as hell. There's some really funny moments here too. Like, I don't know, I laughed quite a bit during this movie. It is a bad movie though. There's no escaping that. It is a shit movie. It introduces some awful Jason lore, as I was trying to be like, you know, The Evil Dead or some shit with its big book. Which I believe actually, the book that they have is actually the same prop that they use for the Necronomicon in Army of Darkness, the book. I might be wrong. I think it was this movie where they did that, where Sam Raimi lent it the thing. But yeah, that's cool. And there's just not enough Kane Hodder Jason either, which I get is the point. It's supposed to be, you know, different Jason. He goes around possessing people, but whatever. I like Kane Hodder. At number 5, we have Jason X. I do think that this movie has quite a fun tone to it. It is definitely an enjoyable and easy watch. There are some kind of interesting characters too, maybe a little bit, maybe, whatever. The way Jason gets resurrected too, he hears a woman orgasm and that brings him back to life. Some of these kills, like the liquid nitrogen, but this movie is painfully 2000s. It's set in the movie 2455, but oh my god, it is 2001 if I've ever seen 2001. And some of the dialogue is cringeworthy as hell. Like, it's very Scream inspired, and Scream is... Actually, let's not talk about Scream. At number 4, we have Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the 4th movie in the franchise. This movie has some gnarly kills. I'm specifically talking about the guy that gets his face crushed up against the back of the shower. I thought that was great. Jason himself is unbelievably cool. Tommy Jarvis is a great character, and as you'll notice, 3 out of the 4 movies in the top 4 are all from the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. So you know that obviously I like those movies a lot. It does keep the same formula as the first 3 movies, but it does it better, in my opinion. This movie is also way too horny, like really, really badly, like, at least in the first couple of movies, like, you know, they're at the camps for a reason. They're there to reopen the camps. They're there as camp counselors. This one, they just go out to a cabin to have shag, and Crispin Glover, I don't know whether to put this in the positive or negative section, but he dances in this movie. At number 3, we have Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Fuck you, I like this movie a lot. It is so entertaining, you can't tell me otherwise. It is hilarious. I laughed my way through this movie, especially with Ethel. Oh my god, she was such a great character. She's probably my favourite Friday the 13th side character. Tommy Jarvis, again, is really good. He is strong, he is ripped, he beats the shit out of some people, and it is just glorious. This movie has a hilarious reveal on who the killer is. I laughed so hard, as much as it doesn't make any sense. It's revealed to be Roy Burns, who is the estranged father of Joey, the guy that got killed at the start of the movie. And in Roy Burns' wallet, Roy Burns has a photo of Joey, like an updated present day photo of his estranged son that he hasn't seen since birth. How he has that, I don't know. And also, Roy Burns has a photo of himself in his own wallet too. I thought that was pretty funny. The enchiladas with Demon, I'm pretty sure his name was fantastic. This movie does have a few underwhelming kills, but it has a few great kills too, like the woman that gets their eyes plucked out with like the big pliers, and the guy that gets his face squashed with the twisting like the leather belt around his face. I thought that was great. And the sense of fun in this movie is just so strong that, I don't know, I love it. I think it's a terrible movie, but I think it's great fun. And now for my second favorite movie in the Friday the 13th franchise, we actually have the remake from 2009. This movie has scary Jason. Like, he is scary in this movie. He's big, he's tall, and he runs. And I mean that he actually runs in this movie, and it is scary as hell. There are some crazy good kills in this movie too. I think it's excellent. It's paced extremely well, I think, and it just moves, it zips like a bullet. It's there for a reason. It's there to see these shitty characters who are admittedly painful to be around just get murdered. That's all they're there for, and it's shameless. It does have some dumb ideas when he kidnaps the woman that looks like Jason's mum when she was like a teenager, and I was thinking, what? Like, that was stupid. But it's a really fun watch, and I think it's the second best movie in the franchise. And at number 1, this shouldn't come as much of a surprise, but whatever. It's Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. This movie is paced well. It goes. It has some memorable kills, especially with Sheriff Garris when he gets twisted back. Oh my god, it's so cool. It has great characters. I actually think I love, again, Tommy Jarvis is just great. I really actually quite liked all the kids, because this is the only movie where the camp counselors actually have to deal with kids, and I like them. They were really funny. It was just a funny movie in general too. Like, they broke the fourth wall at some parts. I thought the editing was hilarious too, where it's like, you know, does he think I'm a dickhead? Yeah! Something like that. I thought it was funny. This movie has kind of scary Jason too in it too, which I really like. And I actually really like the way he comes back to life too at the start of the movie, because Jason is dead and buried, and Tommy Jarvis goes to dig up Jason to kill him. Even though he's already dead. Like, it's really stupid, but there's just an unstoppable sense of fun in this movie, and it's a movie that I'm going to be watching multiple times over the course of my life, even if I don't watch this franchise in full ever again. I think the top 4 movies, Friday 4, 5, 6, and the remake, I'll watch a fair bit, but Part 6, Jason Lives, is my absolute favourite, and I just think it's excellent. Alright, well, thanks for watching that video on the ranking of Friday the 13th. If you've seen these movies, give me your ranking, because I'd really like to know. Be cool to see. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye.